Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
I always love it when we get a chance to talk to a medium here, and she's different because I'm not going to use the word psychic medium next to her, which is potentially fine. I'm going to use the word healing. She's a healing medium because she brings messages from beyond to help you heal, help you get closure, help you realize things in your life. And it's just amazing how this all works. Leah DiNapoli is back with us. How are you?
I'm good, Steve. Thanks for having me today. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you. It's been a while since we got together.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Times a couple of months, but wow, you've been busy doing lots of different types of readings, and you never know what's going to come your way. By the way, you're also a tarot card reader. I'm trying to remember. You teach it as well. Oracle, in addition, I can't recall.
Yeah, both, but I do like a little bit more. And also I do some intuitive life coaching, which I've been doing a lot of lately, which is a lot of fun and healing as well. So hopefully I'm bringing some of that in for other people, you know?
There's a lot of life coaches out there and many, many great ones. But when you start with intuitive, to me, it's like you've got a running start. You already have, as the coach, a baseline for what you're dealing with and what somebody is going through, even though they tell you, hey, this is what's going on, this is where I want to be. You've already got the inside, the inside scoop, the 411 on all of it to start.
Interesting enough, that's true. What I find a miracle is that spirit brings people to me for certain things with the same energy that I need as well. So to be honest, I get a lot of people and women who've lived the same separate trauma stories that I've had. So I'm able to give them a handle on a different perspective of something they're just kind of not looking at yet. So it's really kind of cool how that all works and comes together. It's the magnificence behind in the spirit world, not behind me, but behind all of us. It's a really beautiful thing. But what's really funny is somebody will bring something up to me that they're having issue with, and I'm like, oh yeah, I had that, and I kind of go on. I don't tell them I've had it, but I go on with what I've learned from it. And the next person, it's something else. So I think people with a lot of adversity in this life have a lot to offer others. Once they start healing themselves, it's easy to kind of give back to other people who have the same issues or have had the same issues come along.
I am so on your page. And I joined a men's group last week, went to the second meeting last night. It's just a bunch of guys. And it's a more focused meeting. And there could be a topic. I think, what was last night's topic? Why are you alone? And we just go around the room, what you're dealing with. And not just being alone. It could be alone in raising a kid. It could be alone in an endeavor, whatever it might be. And just what you said, a lot of the guys are going through things that I went through, and I'll just throw perspective out. Just a quick comment. Did you ever think about this? You ever think about that? The facilitator of the group is writing a book, and I've never written a book, but a little insight here and there. And he's having trouble, like just at the intro and all of that. I'm like, you ever think about just going deep into the book? Pick a subject or a chapter that you really are into. Start there. Why start in the beginning? Speech to text too. Try that. Like just throwing ideas out. Yeah. Absolutely. But it's been so impactful in just 2 weeks. And just what you said, and people offering suggestions to me, like super cool when you open it up that way.
Yep. You have to be open to, it's not just me who's intuitive. Everyone was born with it. And so if you can offer something to someone, even if they don't listen or pay attention, you are planting a seed. So it does help. I mean, other people help me as well when I have something I'm rolling out, and I get another perspective on it. It's so helpful to look at it in a completely different way, something I wouldn't have thought about to start with. and then to kind of let that soak in and integrate it in and start healing yourself and feeling better about it, you know? So yeah, men's group, awesome. I would love to be a fly on the wall in there.
I don't know if
I
you want
really
to.
would not to, you know, make fun of it at all, but I'm sure it's intense. And, you know, men need just as much as women do. I was thinking this week of starting a medium support group because even we need it. And I need feedback and I need things that my ego kind of controls sometimes too, you know, and it's not just medium, but for women, you know,
Sure,
women,
sure.
women are all changing their life. And just like you, a lot of women are starting their second part of their life as empty nesters or divorcees or, you know, how many mistakes did I make to get where I'm at? So it's so helpful to have a group of people. So yeah, you for
Mm.
going ahead and joining that.
Somebody suggested it and it changed his life. And just what you said is what I said last night. And I forget what there was a question thrown out there. We went around the room quick. And I said, I'm on my second return and I'm going to nail it. That's, I have goals and it's, just getting started here. And that was, how I feel. And another guy, the guy that recommended me, he's been going to this group since 2010. Um, and it was his birthday last night. He's around my age and really super successful guy. But there was a point in 2010 where he lost it all. He was about to get divorced. His business, everything crumbled. His life was crumbling. He joined this group and it got him back on track. And now he's every day, I'm a 10. He says, everything's fantastic. Can you share with us some recent readings? What came about, how it was validated when you connected with people and those on the other side?
Yes, I can. So, you know, about 2 weeks ago, I had one of my most powerful readings with a woman that's a little bit hard to follow. So I will start from the beginning. So the night before, I had a dream and I had a spirit mom come to me who I didn't know was the mom at that point. So I had a woman come and stand next to me in my dream, and she brought me to this, and please, you know, forgive me if I'm repeating this story, but it just was so powerful to me. Um, she brought me to a child in high school who I had to pull out of the wall. And I know, like, I was pulling him out of the wall. He was buried in a mausoleum. So that was it was like a high school locker. Um, and I was pulling him out. And the mom brought me through. And a week later, I'm reading for the daughter of this mom. And I start her reading about her job because intuitively I'm getting stuff about her job and her work. So I wasn't even going the medium route. It was just all about her job and that she needed a break. And during the reading, as I'm telling her she needs to take some time off from work, her mom popped in and the whole dream came flooding back. And I said, oh, geez, you know, I have a woman here, but I also have a friend from high school, I think, who was your friend. And I feel like he's overdosed and I feel like he's hiding from his own mother. And I don't know really what to do. Like, this child was abused for a long time and he cut out. Well, it happened to be that this was her best friend from school, from high school, that she knew since, you know, elementary school. And he was the actual reason why she had taken up the role of being a healthcare provider, because she wanted to make a difference in other people's lives. And so the minute I finished with his story and how it unfolded, it was quite long. Excuse me, so I won't get into the whole thing, but I said, well, I had this woman bring this gentleman to me and I don't know who she was. And it dawned on me that all I could see was her back. And I thought, oh, she looks like the sitter. So I said, geez, did you also lose your mom? And she said, I did a month ago. And I said, oh my God, this was your mother. So her mom came into my dream pretty much right after she passed away to bring me to this boy, which led me to this girl who is sitting, who needed a break from work. So it all kind of tied in. So the girl's doing healthcare. She's providing healthcare, but in a social working scene where she helps people of addiction and drug abuse, right? She got into the job because of this childhood friend she had lost through an overdose and through abuse. And then her mom obviously knew she was overworking herself, so comes into my dream right after she passes away to bring forward this boy and how she needs to take a break just like he did. She has to get away from her job for a little bit in order to save herself. And that was absolutely fantastic and fabulous. And what went on behind the scenes for that all to come together is beyond me. But every moment I went into the reading was another, oh my God, really? Like, that's incredible. So I go from that reading to the other day having a woman who gave me a bogus name, a bogus email, and the sitting was absolutely horrible. I got nothing for her, and then she was angry with me that I didn't even know she was giving me a fake name. So it's really for being a medium, it's so tough sometimes because you have people who are so grateful, and all I want to do, my intention is to help people. So you have people that are so grateful and all they want to do is hear from their loved ones. And then I have people that get on with me who are just there for the challenge and to have me prove them correct. And honestly, I couldn't get anything. So the reading really stunk, and I spent an hour and a half there with her trying to get information and couldn't.
Why
It's
do
just,
people do that? And do you think that they really do want a reading, but they're afraid to admit it? And they don't realize that when they go to a psychic, they're closed. And it doesn't work that way. You can't make a connection when somebody is completely shut down.
I don't know. I don't know if it's their own fear. So I have to have some compassion on the other side,
Hmm.
or I just suck that day, which, I'm only
No,
human. I'm not God. So that happens. But when you go into something as a, prove me right, prove me wrong, it might just be the fear of, I really want to know there's another side, but you have to prove that to me. And yeah, I need you to jump over 10 fences in order to do it, because they want to believe so bad they just don't, or they
right.
can't,
I
or they
think
don't understand what happened to them, you know?
I
Yeah, it was
feel you're
really,
right. I feel you're right about that. Yeah, because they wouldn't be going to you to take all that effort and pay you
well, she
to,
didn't pay me. And I said, fine, I don't even care because I'd rather have people be happy than me have an extra buck in my pocket. I don't need it. That's not what I'm here for. I'm doing this out of the goodness of my heart. And money is a side thing to help me continue to continue to do my work and to continue to do classes that I do and afford people, time and stuff. So what a bummer, what a bummer.
he took the effort to come to you. So I don't think it was just, let me go there and test her. There's more to it. It's one thing if there was hypothetically speaking, a psychic fair, and she just happened to be driving by with a friend, or a friend took her and like, I'm going over to Leah's table. Let me just. No, she made an effort. I really believe that she wanted to be shown that it can work, but she's not giving up anything. It's a two-way street. It's a relationship, even if it's only for an hour.
It's really a three-way street
Well,
because,
thank you very. You're right.
I'm with Trinity all the time. And
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
yeah, what a bummer, but
That's on her. It's not on you. I want to go back to what you said a moment ago about a dream. And last time we talked, you mentioned dream. And by the way, before you even say anything, I'm looking up at a dashboard, and we're having tech issues. Now we're back. We're on, but and we're recorded.
always.
Weird. I can't make that. I'm just staring at it, and it ends. And I don't know if this means anything. It says connecting, connecting,
Oh boy.
connecting,
We must,
connecting.
they must be hearing me today because they know this morning I woke up thinking, you know what? Why am I even doing this anymore? I'm really here to help people and it's just not going well these days, the last like 2 weeks. And I don't understand why I go from like the dream and all that spirit work so hard to someone who's like, why are you even here? What are you wasting my time for? I don't
Yeah.
understand
Well,
it.
yeah, that we all get challenged in many different ways,
Yeah.
many different ways. With the dream thing, I haven't heard that from psychics and mediums, that they have a dream prior to a reading. And this is seems to be a common theme for you. You've said it before.
Yeah. So when I was younger and I had the gift and I used to see, spirits in my house when I was little, hopefully I wasn't crazy, but the fact that I thought I was crazy and didn't know what was going on, my gifts started manifesting as dreams. And so I've dreamt hurricanes in Florida. I dream spirits. I like connect with my family all the time. I wish it was right out in the open. I wish I could see them out here, but uh, the dream thing is amazing. One time I was having foot surgery and I was like, okay, I got to go in and do this reading. And I was a little bit out there and I was like, if you guys want to come in and meet me for tomorrow, you're going to have to give me some help. And voila, I had a fantastic reading with this young man who came in to my dream and we talked and met. And then the next day I had his sister. Um, and it went so beautifully because I had already connected with his spirit in my dream. And that's the most fun for me. I mean, I have a lot of stuff that goes on there. I don't necessarily tell people because, I'm not going to tell somebody when I feel like they're going to pass, but, my dogs come in. Everybody comes in before they're going to pass on.
I'm jealous because I don't recall my dreams. Haven't been sleeping great lately, but I don't recall them.
Well,
I don't. I have one I remember in the past couple of months, and it's like almost classic. It's a road and me going uphill, and that's and I see it very vividly of the line in the road, and it just going and I'm heading up the road. But that's the only one I remember. And I know there was other
right, but
ones, but
that's significant. But you know what that means, right?
I
You're
have
in
a pretty.
you're in for the long haul and you're on the road to recovery. So I mean, you just joined this men's group, right?
Yeah.
You're on the road. You're on the road to recovery.
And
To me,
I get it. I see it and I feel it.
yeah.
When you have your dream, is
Hmm.
it because you have a reading the next day, and it's almost as if you're
No,
manifesting, meditating on it, thinking about who you're going to connect with the following day?
not at all.
No.
No, it's random. It happens, it'll go for, a month or two, or I'm constantly having these dreams and I'm having readings. And then like the other day, I had not one dream. My husband wakes up all the time and says, did you dream about anybody yesterday? Did you have it? Nope, I don't have anything. So I don't know when they decide
Okay.
they're coming in. I wish I could control that, but I'm open to it. Has your mother ever um come to you in your dream? Have you had a visitation?
No, I'm trying to
Yeah.
think. No, but I often quite vibe her, even in bed, before going to bed. I'll be thinking of.
And that means she's there. So you can actually like reach out and tell her, Mom, can you come into my dream? That way I can have a conversation and let me remember it too.
I never thought of it that way to say, I want to see you in my dream. I never thought of it that way. And I'm a firm believer in ask for what you want. You want a sign? Ask for a sign.
Exactly.
You will get it. The challenge is we don't see it. It may not come in the form of what you're expecting, but it's going to show up. And again, we have such busy lives and everything deflecting us in different directions that we don't focus on it.
Yeah.
But I believe it's there.
It is taking that few minutes of day, and probably because my mind goes, ask anyone, 100 miles a minute,
Me
every
too.
minute of the day, and it's hard for me to sleep as well. That even though I'm aware and I ask for signs, I miss quite a bit until I go, oh, like spirit has to knock me on the head a couple times for me to understand for the day. Oh, that's what I needed that day. That's what I got. But people come into my dreams because that's where I'm quiet.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So it's pretty helpful. I know of one other woman who has the same um kind of dreamscape. I haven't met her yet, but one of my medium friends brought her up to me and said, "Oh, I met a woman who has the same thing you do. She gets like all this stuff in her dreams and she doesn't know what to do with it." So I'm looking forward to connecting with her.
Hmm. You know, it makes total sense why this stuff happens during our dreams because we're in a certain state where we can receive. We, like you said, my mind is all over the place. Not like I have ADHD. I'm just always thinking, like, got to do this, got to do that. Don't forget to do that. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. How can you see any signs or you get anything? And then what happens? You take that to bed, and now you're thinking of stuff while you're in
Mhm.
bed, and there, you know, you're just preventing yourself from getting what you should be receiving.
Oh, trust me,
Mm.
sleep doesn't come easy for me either. Or when I finally get to sleep, if I wake up at 2 or 3, 3 o'clock's like the magic number for me. It's lay there for 2.5, 3 hours,
Yeah,
and I not quiet myself down. It's terrible.
yeah, same. I'm gonna bring it on to myself last night because I was just about to go to bed and I'm like, man, I am hungry. Not just like, yeah, well, I'll get a little snack. I'm blanket hungry. I don't know what's going on. And of course, you have to drink something, so now you have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
Yeah, of course. That's
It was
fun.
self-inflicted non-sleep last night. But I love your stories, and you have such an easy way about you and your approach to what you do. You know, it's you're just go back to what I said in the beginning. You're there, and I believe your purpose is to help heal. It
Yeah,
really is.
it's really what I want because I know the only thing that's gotten me through so many things is healing myself, right? And the suggestions from others and the help from others. But until you take responsibility for yourself and you want to heal all those different layers that has led you up to where you are, um, and actually have gratitude for all of them. Because even the hard, I'm thankful for the hard times and the good times because the hard times were hard lessons, um, really hard
Yeah,
lessons. But
yeah,
you also learn so much from them. So you have to be grateful.
yeah. And that was one of the things we talked about last night in this meeting is that the stuff that you have gone through, it wasn't for naught. It was a lesson to get you to the next step. And you might, and the next step. And you might not see the progression in the pattern, but it's happening there for a reason. And it's funny, I'll be transparent. The guy next to me is at least half my age. And he talked about his upbringing and, family didn't have any money and it was a struggle and everything. And I'm thinking to myself, that's me.
Yep.
I
Because we're
forgot
all
about
with each other.
I forgot about that. It was just like, oh yeah, because I've moved past it. But you can't forget where you came from. But it was just like, and I said, hey, dude, that was me. You were talking about the same thing. Um,
True.
Kind of wild when you realize that stuff, and when you make us realize things by messages from beyond. How do we connect with you? How do you start the whole process, Leah?
So you can go to my webpage. It's mediumleah.com, medium, leah.com. And I'm available there. You can book online through that. You can on my homepage. There's an event page. I have an event coming up in March 2nd at a center in Brantford. I'm actually doing the event. It's a 2-hour medium connection, and I have a girl from Long Island coming out
Oh wow.
with me. This other girl, Suzanne, she's amazing. We studied in London together at the Arthur Findlay College, and she's tremendous and has a huge heart. So I'm looking forward to doing that as well. And you can buy tickets to that online as well on my webpage. So if you want to come, it's a fun evening. You should come,
Hmm.
Steve.
Wow. Let me put that on my calendar. Suzanne. It's
Hmm.
probably not the same person, but I worked with a psychic decades ago, like many. Suzanne Northrup, not her, right?
Not her,
Okay.
but Suzanne is pretty cool because she's also a deaf interpreter.
Oh wow.
And so at some point, we want to be able to bring some closure and some mediumship to a group of people who can't hear or hearing impaired. So we might just do a little medium thing and she might interpret
Cool. You
like
know what? What a,
um,
what a concept. Never thought about that. That
right?
those people, those individuals, can't fully. experience what the rest of us do by the messages from there.
They're
Mediumleah.com.
probably more intuitive than we are because they don't have all their senses. Like I have a blind friend who's a medium, and she's a most amazing psychic ever, and she doesn't practice. So she foretold 9/11, believe it or not, in her journal, did the whole
Wow.
thing. Her parents thought she was nuts.
On the day of, funny you should,
nuts.
we're out of time, but funny you should say that. On the day of 9/11, I was on the air with a psychic. Her name is Victoria Bullis. I don't think she's from the New York area. I resisted having her on. She was just kooky. And the others said she's kind of kooky. She predicted it at 7:20 in the morning. She said there is something coming of worldwide magnitude proportions. We all need to be ready for it. And then at 9/11, look what happened.
Right.
Prior to that. Yeah, crazy.
Gotta
I
be-
can I could keep talking forever, but we're out of time. It's always wonderful having you with us, and
Thank you.
get some answers. Mediumleah.com. We'll talk soon. Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.